We're out of the waiting room and into the drawing room.
Straight away.
So, what have you got in your little package?
I have no idea. Let's see. Whatever it is, it's got some work to do after our last extravaganza. Oh. That's a surprise.
Well, we've done this before, but unfortunately, alright, like the Biden administration, the file got corrupted.
Tom?
Would you cut it for me?
Sure. May I?
Well, you want the cutter as well. This is the great Sautter cutter. And look at this, it's even got a little rest on it. So if you're at a pub outside the table, the cigar doesn't touch the table. That's fabulous.
And we should enjoy those cigars in a pub, because they may not be there forever, huh?
Let me deliver it to you.
No. Oh.
You got it?
Thank you, Nicholas.
Cheers. The famous Andalusian Bull.
So we've done this once, but it got corrupted.
Now that explains a lot.
Alright, that's why it was so late. We've got to get this out because this is what I would regard as one of the best New World smokes that there is.
I agree with you.
And I take my hat off to the amazing Gomez family.
What a gold mine this cigar has been.
No, that's Golden Bull.
Yeah, the NFTs. What a blend. This was Tony, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To me to Tony.
More like 3 metre Tony.
Yeah.
3 metre Tony and 1 metre Nick.
Absolutely. It is, I believe, the best New World cigar out there, in my humble opinion.
Oh. That's a lot of smoke straight away.
And coming straight as it is after the magnificent Cohiba Amber which we've just had, it's a hard ask, but that's the first puff has not shamed itself in any way. It's a monster. This is a real long size. How often are you smoking these?
As often as I can, they're so difficult to get hold of.
And it's great value. When did you first smoke one?
Must be 4 years ago.
It won the Cigar of the Year, didn't it, a few years back? And that's why now, even to this day, they're very difficult to find.
He restricts the production on it as well. It's a big one to roll.
Must be very difficult to roll.
I'm sitting back a bit, so I've had a hint from my sound engineer that I've got to get closer to the mic.
Voiceover man. Terms and conditions apply.
You've got this unbelievable amount of smoke that comes out of it. Do you not feel that?
Yeah. Right from the get-go. You got that huge face. It just, yeah, bonfire right from the start.
Bonfire of the Vanities.
Absolutely.
Who wrote that?
Was it Wolf?
Tom Wolfe.
Yeah. It's a very educational show, this, you know. It's not just cigars. We are mildly intelligent people as well.
Speak for yourself. Mine's got a couple of cracks in the wrapper.
Yes, yeah, that was a bit unfortunate, the first one I pulled out. Mine has a slightly cracked head, but not too bad. Tom's is pretty good, I think.
Yeah. Well, his head or the cigar?
Cracked in the head. So what sort of a...
It's actually dropped. And how do you know about it?
What sort of a situation would you spark up one of these in?
You've got to feel bullish. You've
Yeah.
got to be really, really excited
On it.
about something. You've got to be really going for it because it's a big smoke. It's, you know, what would I drink with it as well? Well, if I was smoking it pre-dinner, I want to have it with a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Maybe some Leilani tea?
No,
Not bold enough.
not bold enough. Yeah, I think maybe you could do a matcha with that. But I think you've got to go, you know, you're looking at a latte or even an espresso.
Yeah, you've got to get some
Keep you on your toes when you're
strong
doing
flavours
it.
in there. It's not for the
Phenomenal.
faint of heart, is it?
No. These three cigars have got quite a bit of age on them
How come?
because they're a little present from my mate Rob Eckelman,
The legend.
the legend of New York City. So he gave me a box of tenure of when they first came out.
Oh, wow.
So I thought, let's enjoy it with friends. And then I
Thank you.
couldn't find any, so I invited you to.
Okay. Compliment with one hand and slap with the other.
Just a bit of banter. Look at you looking sartorially elegant in your
I look.
shack
I reckon I'm sort of channeling a bit of Roger Moore. Roger Moore. You expect me to die? No, what is it? You expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond.
The name is Bond.
Your name's Bond. James Bond.
So I know a lot of the Bonds.
Do you?
Yeah. Because I was at Millfield with Sean Connery's son, with Roger Moore's son,
Really?
Yeah.
All about the same time?
and with Pierce's son.
Wow. Well, who's your favourite Bond?
Well, there is only one Bond.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got that danger about him.
Just the voice.
Yes. Amish money penny.
You know. I'll tell you, you know, American guy Chris Concorde, my partner in some film ventures and things. He does the most amazing Sean Connery.
Does he?
Amazing.
Oh, must get him to do that.
So I played golf with Sean a few times.
Nice guy?
Well, I was a kid at his son's school, so he was very nice to me.
Right.
And I've been drinking with him at Patrick's 19th hole in the port in Marbella.
Fantastic.
He always used to go there. Patrick with his big mate. Boy, can he drink.
Who?
Sean.
Really?
Oh,
Whiskey man?
whiskey man. The Scottish, you know.
Jeez, really?
He's not going to be drinking anything else. He's a true Scot.
Oof.
Then France 94 came along. Do you remember France 94? World Cup?
Yes.
So him and some other friends took over the Buddha Bar in Paris, which was a great, great venue. Amazing restaurant. And he declared there and then, while singing Scotland the Brave, you know, that they were going for independence.
God.
And look what that got them. They got beaten in their opening match because they were the match to play France in the first match of the World Cup. Absolutely mullered.
Did he quieten down after that?
Well, the event was the night before, so
What was his son like?
good kid.
Yeah.
Good kid, yeah. They lived in the Bahamas little town. Langford Caine. I went over there.
Did you?
Yeah.
They must have lived an incredible life. And tell us about Michael Caine.
I knew Michael from a different... I knew Michael through a variety club. He was an incredible character. Incredible character.
Really?
Yeah. And he loves a cigar.
Yes. Yeah, he always did, didn't he? Does he still?
Going back to people who loved cigars. Sean loved a cigar. Roger Moore loved a cigar. Never saw Piers Brosnan smoking.
He did smoke one
But
in...
he was a customer of my shop in Mount Street.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But that was later on.
Roger...
We're going back, it was some 50 years. I'm 64, and I don't look at you, don't have to...
That's incredible.
But 50 years ago, because what happened was the parents all used to take 12 kids out for lunch on a Sunday, because
Right.
we're in the middle of nowhere. It's miles from civilization streets. So when a parent came down, the circle of friends used to all get together.
Brilliant.
So,
So he'd take you all out for a slap up?
well, I don't know if but you'd go to either the Beckett's or you'd go to the George, one of those pub lunches, because it was close to the
Right.
school.
And everybody looked forward to that.
Oh,
What was school food like?
exceptionally good.
Was it
Yeah.
breakfast?
Breakfast was superb.
What would you have?
Poached eggs on toast, slice of grilled bacon, and a sausage.
And proper dinner?
I lost at the Millfield Challenge. I finished second to a guy called Richard Stratton on poached eggs on toast. There used to be this place called the White Cottage in Glastonbury. And we had a challenge. 14 kids in the school took place in the challenge. 6 dropped out on 8 poached eggs on toast. And I gave up on 23.
Oh!
Richard did 24.
24?
Poached eggs.
What? 2 at a time? One after the other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brought out to bang, 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 bang.
Did you feel sick?
No, it's just a lot of toast to consume. And lots of tea.
Yeah. And you didn't move for the rest of the day?
No, we then walked 6 miles to school because otherwise we'd have died.
Gee. Yeah, Roger Moore had reportedly written into his contract that he had to be supplied with fine cigars on set every day. And so I think he smoked Monte Cristo #1s maybe?
He smoked Monty 1s,
Especial.
he smoked Monty 5s. All right, for that quick
Yeah.
cigar between takes.
So he got 3 Cuban cigars for all his Bond movies.
But all of it,
Boxes and boxes and boxes.
including the Persuaders.
Really?
Did you ever see the Persuaders?
No.
Him and Tony Curtis. Great show. So, we had some great times there. Now let's get back to the Bull. What are you thinking?
It's a long smoke. It's very tasty. Bold. Starts off quite mild and then immediately starts kicking in. It's a great cigar.
Thomas?
It's so different to the one that we smoked before because
Absolutely.
it has the strength. It's got that power,
Yeah.
but it's just the flavor is not as intense.
No, and it's compared to that, which is an unfair comparison. It's a
Isn't-
monosyllabic flavour, isn't it? It's not changing.
Well, we don't know. We've only just started. I think that's unfair to say, having smoked, according to Thomas, the 3/3 of the cigar. You know, at the moment, we're not even through the first third.
No, I'm just saying for the flavour.
In fact, I've got to tell you, we're not even up to 2 inches, Nick. I know you think that's a foot.
No, it's really good. It's really good.
So what would you compare this to in terms of shape and size, Cuban?
I just plainly don't think you can compare because it's
Size. We're
size.
talking about
Salamones.
size.
A Salamones would be the closest, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fat Salamones.
But the flavor, when I said it's not as intense, but it's super refined. Do you know what I mean? It has that
Yeah.
super well balanced.
Beautifully blended. Yeah. You got the power, but it's so smooth.
So this is rolled in a room that was a disco
Yes.
with a great big mirror ball in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
All right. And the ceiling height isn't that great. So when Tony Gomez goes past the mirror ball, he's got a duck or head it. And
He was a
Leto-
goalie, you know, Leto.
Leto was goalie, but
Leto.
Leto's not that tall.
He is quite tall. He's just not as tall as his.
Yeah, I suppose when you see him next to Tony,
Yeah.
you think, sure.
I think he's like 6'2" or something.
Yeah. And what's Tony?
6'8", 9.
10.
Yeah. Easily. And Maria's tiny, his wife.
Yeah, I know that.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Reminds me of something out of that Stallone. Was it Stallone or was it Arnie? And
Danny DeVito.
Danny
That
DeVito.
was Arnie, yeah.
yeah, twins, wasn't that?
Twins.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Danny?
I've met Danny DeVito and I've met Arnie.
Both love cigars, of course.
Yeah.
I bet he's a character, isn't he?
I saw all three of them back in the day. David Factor and I went across to Bulgaria and I bought CSK Sophia
How on earth did that come about?
because David wanted the minerals
Really?
on a piece of land that they owned, and I was involved in football, so I wanted to buy the football club. All right, and you redeveloped the stadium, which is in the centre of town, which is in a prime location, all right, and build a new stadium on where all the minerals were after we'd extracted it, which was about 10 miles outside of the centre, but had a rail line going into it.
Right.
And it was equidistant between the airport and it was 3,000 acres. It probably had £2 billion worth of infrastructure in there because all the roads and everything were in there. So it was absolutely fabulous. But they were so difficult to deal with, the Bulgarians. And
Really?
impossible.
Did it not happen in the end?
I bought it and then I flipped it.
Right.
I made some money out of it. But it was problematic, to say the least. But there we are, we're sitting in the Intercontinental in Sofia, and you could smoke in the restaurant on the top floor. And they're all booths that are covered in. All right. And I hear this voice, that smells good. And there I am with about 100 cigars on the table. There's my son, David Factor, and I chugging through some cigars. And then they were there, so we gave them some hand rolls and this, that and the other. And then they joined our table and we were
Really?
drinking and smoking.
Fantastic. I heard a great story about Danny DeVito, that he was on a plane shortly after the band started coming in. And he got a cigar out and the stewardess says, so you can't smoke that on here. And he said, why not? I've always smoked a cigar on the plane. No, we can't do that anymore. So he said, if I get up and go around every person on the plane and ask them if it's all right, and if every person says yes, can I smoke it then? She said, I suppose so. So apparently he went around everyone, gave them all the full spiel, full Danny DeVito job, came back, sat down, lit his cigar up.
Well, you know, my first Concorde trip, they gave me 5-punch cigars in that metal tube.
Really? Wow. What was Concorde like? That must have been amazing.
Horrible.
Oh.
Very claustrophobic.
Oh, really? Small.
I'm not tall, but you felt I was too tall for the plane. It's like going into be like miniaturising yourself. I don't know if you'd have to be miniaturised to go into a cigar tube and travel.
Really?
That sort of feeling, yeah.
Right. But the food and service and everything?
The food was amazing. The service was amazing. Unbelievably, the flight was incredible because you used to get to New York in 4 hours.
Amazing.
You know, so I'd leave London and be in New York before I took off. New York time.
That's just so bizarre. And amazing they've never replaced it.
For 7 months I went on Concorde every Friday for 7 months.
Really?
Yeah. So back in the day I was in the fashion business and I used to fly to New York Concorde and then fly back on Pan Am or TWA. And I used to go and buy stock there and just bring it back into the UK. So I'd come back with 8 to 10 suitcases. We had 37 shops around the country called Crocodile, fashion shops. And I used to buy from Kenzo, from Kanzo Yamamoto, from Diane B and all these designers. And at the time, their stuff was really cheap. All right, and I was buying off a guy called Kenny Zimmerman and a guy called Erwin Benson and Kanzo himself. So when I used to go over, all right, all the suitcases would be ready for me at the hotel. I used to go pick out the stuff. I only used to stay at one hotel, which was the Mark. And I picked up the cases, all right, on a Sunday evening and arrived Monday morning. So Friday, I spent Friday collating and buying, Saturday playing golf, because I was a really good golfer. I used to play up in Westchester Country Club with Kenny Zimmerman. And Sunday I'd go to the airport, get on the plane, arrive back first thing Monday morning, and I had some great friends at Pan Am and TWA at the time that used to upgrade me. So I used to fly first class, and at the time I was only a wee nipper. And they used to say, Laurence, I've sat you next to a very good-looking woman. Or, you know, this, that, and the other. So they were great guys. They were working out of JFK. And at the time, JFK was an easier airport to get to than it is today. Today, it's like a real difficult situation. Yeah. But on a Sunday, you know, it was an hour, 10 minutes. Now it can take you up to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Traffic is impossible. And then I'll be back, met at the airport. Driver would come along with a great big van, we'd jump in, stuff in the back, get it to the warehouse. By Monday afternoon, it was out in the shops.
Sell it out and do it again next week.
Yeah, wow. Almost fresh stock, and you know, it was just a great way of buying it. I was buying it at knockdown prices, going over there paying COD. I bring it back. It was in the shops. It would be gone.
Selling good profit in.
Very, very good margin, and you know, some of my compatriots know that I'm a bit of a hoarder.
Yeah.
You know, so during COVID, I did have 1,000 rolls of toilet paper and about 200 kitchen rolls.
You had that before COVID. It
Yeah.
just happened during COVID that you weren't part of buying toilet paper. You were already there.
I was already stocked up well before. I mean, I must have 1,000 bottles of water here. I always like to, you know, So I was always well stocked up, and the fact that I had this stock that no one else had, no one else was buying it, right, because no one would commit. And, you know, a Kansai Yamamoto jacket was like $800 then at full retail. And I was just buying whatever they had left. And paying like $70 for it.
No way.
So I'd go in. In fact, I was once there, and Kansai was with me. And I said, "What's in that room, Kansai?" He said, "That's all of my samples." So I said, "Look, the door's not open. $5,000 for the room. Whatever's in it." He said, "I don't know what's in it." I said, "It's a game of chance, isn't it?" All right. $5,000 in Nelson Eddies, right, cash in your hand. Do you want to sell me the room? So he said, "Okay." So I bought the room, and in the room there's these props as well. So he said, "Oh, no, you can't take the props. I need them for window dressing." I said, "I bought the room, Kansai. I bought the room." So he said, "What if I knock $1,000 off?" I said, $1,500 off, you've got a deal. So I bought all the room of gear for $3,500.
And sold it for what?
God knows, 20, 25 grand, we're going full retail. And I remember there was one box in the room that no one opened. Came back to London, and we opened the box. And it was ties,
Right.
men's ties.
Okay.
And we were a ladies' workshop. So I phoned up a pal of mine, who I later went to work for, called Irving Seller. I don't know if you remember Mates. It was a menswear group. And they used to have this jingle that said, "Girls and fellas all get together with Mates by Irvine Seller." So I phoned up Irvine. I said, "Look, I've got these ties." I said, "They're all Kansai Yamamoto," which is a bit upmarket for me, LD. So I said, "No, but they're really good." So he said, "Yeah, but they sell for about 70 quid. So I said, "What if I gave you them for a tenner each?" He said, "All right, I'll take them." So he took them, all right? And from out of nothing, I actually got $3,500 worth out of the ties.
Oh, what a deal.
And I don't know if you've heard of a brand called Etro.
No.
Mm-hmm. So Etro's a big Italian brand, all right, and the guy who used to run Etro was a guy called Cuomo, and I'm in Cuomo's place about 6 months after I did the deal with Kansai. And I said, "Cuomo, what's in the room just through there?" He said, that's all samples and bits accumulated. God knows, it's only shit, you know what else I want it. I love shit. He said, "What do you mean?" So I said, "I'll give you 5,000 all the time, 5,000 quid for the room, whatever's in it." I said, "Yeah, I'm pleased to get rid of it, take the room." Well, we've got some unbelievable things.
Really?
Yeah. In that room, and we're going back, must be 45 years, 45 years. There was this full-length men's fox fur coat that fitted me like a glove.
Whoa.
Right. So I left Cuomo. They were in Etro was based in Como. But I left Cuomo, all right, on the way to the airport, wearing this full-length men's fox fur coat. All right. And the looks I got at the airport were just like unbelievable. And it was a time I was doing a lot of business with Bill Gibb, Ozzie Clark, and all of those sort of designers. And 3 weeks before that, I'd come back from a trip from New York with a designer that I used to do a lot of work with called Adrian Cartmel, who was overtly gay. All right, and we went to a nightclub. All right, and he said, "You see the couple over there on the right?" So I said, "Do it." "Chatter up, because he is edible."
Did you?
No. And he had this great sense of humour. I mean, we're driving to New York in a taxi from the airport, and the guy's going, "This is Spanish Harlem, this is Little Italy, this is right, this is the cab driver saying all of that. And this is where all the little Havana where the Cubans are, and this and that one." And Adrian just turned around, and was a guy with a Haitian driver, and he turned around and said, "Oh, it's amazing where all the Americans live." And he had that sort of sense of humour. So I got all that stuff back, sold all the men's Etro onto Irvine Cellar, and we sold all the ladies' wear. So, you know, and that was before job buyers were really around. And we used to do all the clearance.
What a time to be alive.
Oh, it was phenomenal times. Phenomenal times. And I remember my first car, because I was involved in the business, even when I was at school. I was working after school, I was working weekends.
Was it your dad's business?
Yeah. And Dad said, "I bought you a car for your 17th birthday." So I went outside, and it's a Honda TN City van with 2 rails in the back. I said, "What use is this for me?" He said, "Have a look at the..." Right, and on the base of the what's that was a mattress. He said, "So when you go up to Norwich tomorrow night to deliver the stock at 6 o'clock, and you're driving home and feeling very tired," he said, "you can have a kip in the back." I said, "I thought you were going to supply an accompaniment for the journey."
Thanks, Dad.
So I thought that my father thinking ahead that I might be able to get my evil way on the mattress in the back of the van, but it wasn't. It was for me to have a kip, so I work harder.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I used to deliver the stuff to Norwich.
And have a kip in the back?
Yeah, well, Norwich on a Friday night is a horrendous journey. But, you know, we got the stock in for the Saturday and take an extra $2,000.
Then you come back absolutely exhausted Saturday lunchtime?
No, I was back. I'd wake up every morning between 5 and half 5. It's just a thing I've always done.
Even then?
Yeah, I think it was that running up the tour in Glastonbury that started it off and got engraved, you know. 3 months of that, and you're into a pattern. So, you know, I used to, 11 o'clock, out the back of the van, have a kip, be back early the next day to go around the London shops and deliver stock.
Jeez. And then Spurs in the afternoon.
Always Saturday afternoons at the Lane.
Was your dad a fan as well?
No, Queen's Park Rangers.
Oh.
QPR fan.
Why did you go Spurs then?
My uncle, I had an uncle, his name was Maury Bloom, really interesting guy. And he took me when I was 3 to my first Spurs game.
Right, and that was it?
And that was it. Support. You know, you only support one team, you can't change teams.
No.
All right. It's just not something that's done.
What did your dad make of it?
Well, he wasn't a fervent QPR. Okay. You couldn't really be no one was a fervent QPR fan. It was just that we always lived West London, so it was easy for him to go to QPR.
If you say QPR famous player from back in the day, what would you first person?
Rodney Bowles.
Exactly, yeah. It's the first thing that comes into my mind. What a player he was.
This is getting better and better.
Lovely.
Really getting better and better. Is yours getting better?
Fantastic. Really strong now. Really strong.
Strong, it burns slow.
Yeah.
Tons of flavour, tons of smoke. It makes you want to kick back and...
Again, a proper journey in a cigar.
Yeah.
Started different, and now we're in a different spot.
What would you like to eat with this? Or eat just before this?
A breakfast would be nice.
Bangers and mash.
No, this really makes me think of having a bit of lamb that's dripping off the bone. Slow cooked lamb.
Oof, nice.
Or my favourite.
Shepherd's pie.
No. My favourite.
Cote de Boeuf.
Marrow.
Now you're
Bone
talking.
marrow.
Crikey.
So you know my favourite restaurant, which I'm going to quite a lot now on Sundays at lunchtime. I sort of nip in there and just have the padron peppers, the bone marrow, and a bit of cheesecake.
Oh, mate.
20 quid a head.
No.
Well, the marrow's nothing. It's £13.
That is a bargain.
The wife and I, 'cause the cheesecake's quite strong. We share half a cheesecake.
She has
Split
the
it in
octopus.
two. She has the octopus, but I like the marrow.
That marrow. Bit of salt, bit of
Do
sourdough.
you like ossobuco?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's more in the sort of gravy, isn't it, as opposed to...
You can still get the marrow
Yeah.
out, but there's not enough.
No. I like spreading it on the toast and big, thick... You feel like you couldn't eat again for a week, but...
It reminds me of a place I used to go to. So I used to buy a lot of stuff as well in Florence. So Florence was sort of the capital of knitwear, you know, in Europe. And there was all manufactured in a place called Prata, just down the road. So we go to Florence and we go to this restaurant called Ganino, still there. And it was these tables outside and they'd have like brown wrapping paper over the table and they'd just block of mortadella, all right? And you'd order this bistec that would come up was the size, you know, two of you would go into a food coma and finish in just one steak.
Florentine beef steak, yeah.
Bistecca Florentine.
That's eating, that is.
There's nothing quite like a great steak.
No. A really good one is untouchable. It's just not often you find a really good one, I don't think.
You've got to find one with the flavour of ribeye, which is not, you know, not easily in a T-bone.
No. Do like a T-bone.
Tomahawk's quite nice. But the problem is you've got the sirloin, which isn't as tasty and as...
I do like a sirloin if it's well marbled.
Yeah, but there's not enough fat on them.
No.
You know, so if you don't cook it perfectly...
Yeah.
If you cook it perfectly, it's great.
Yeah.
But if you don't cook it perfectly, it becomes a little bit...
Yeah. You're right. If it's got to be really nice
leathery.
and rare, and yeah, it can be a bit chewy. Yeah. I'm not a rump fan.
Yeah. Are you a filet fan?
Occasionally.
I'm...
It's a bit flavourless.
And it's a bit of a lump.
Yeah. Yeah.
I prefer the filet tails. You know, cut them up, cube them, make a little stroganoff.
Lovely. You're a ribeye man by choice, aren't you? Yeah.
Or I quite like the little bavette steaks.
What, minute steak type
Yeah.
thing, yeah. Yeah, some eggs. Good breakfast.
A minute steak, an egg, avocado, a little bit of tomato in a bap, and a pita bread. Just boom.
Spot on.
So it's changed again.
What are you getting now?
It's mellowed a bit.
In the fat bit?
Yeah. Strong, mellowed out, but still rich and deep, but not as in your face.
Yeah, it has just opened a tiny bit. Giving me a rumble in the tummy. It's got some oomph.
It's an incredible amount of smoke coming out of it.
Yeah. We haven't had smoke like this since... Do you remember?
Year of the doodah.
Yeah.
That was something else. It's still sitting in my humidor, a box of those, looking at me.
The Liga Privada, the year of the...
Ox?
I think it was
No.
Year of the Ox.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was.
Before the Ox.
I'm pretty sure it's the ox. I still haven't had the balls to smoke them. You went all starry-eyed.
That was you, Nick. That was smoking next to a famous author like you.
Well.
That leads me on to the subject of famous authors. How's book number 3? Formatting in your mind?
Not quite. I need to do more travelling. But for whatever reason, I'm finding it a bit hard to pin people down this time around. I think people are so busy. But I've got a few ideas. I've got a couple of events lined up for book 2 in the coming month. JJ Fox doing one in Stour Port.
Stop! Wow.
Is that where's that?
That's up in the
Midlands.
Midlands.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah. I have been working on a Patreon plan,
Yeah.
which is effectively people pay to become a member of your Patreon group, and they get access to special this, special that.
Just call it what it is, OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I'm only going to sell fans, nothing else.
I want you to do book 3.
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
You need to form out a plan of where you're going to go and what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is pulling it all together. I really need to find... It's usually a case of finding the right person, you know, by serendipity, who can get you somewhere. It's all very well talking to PRs and stuff, but that never really tends to plan out. You need to meet the right man or woman who say, I'm a cruise ship operator or whatever it might be.
And get you going.
Yeah.
All right, let me work on that.
I'd love to do Venice, and you know
Yeah.
Venice very well.
Yeah.
I've really got a thing about, I don't know why, but I think Venice should be in there. I think we should do another, I think I should try Asia. I haven't done much in Asia for a while. So I'd love to get out Hong Kong or Singapore, or we should probably do another cold one. Just not quite as drastic as the last, but
Egypt, smoky the pyramids.
yeah. Love to.
Yeah.
And once one starts it, one's in the bag, then everything falls into place. It's just getting the ball rolling.
And how's it selling?
Really well. Yeah, excellent. And book 1 numbers have gone through the roof.
You ready to reprint?
Yeah, I think we're nearly there. So that's really good. I'm going to relaunch the podcast. Probably be like some shortened versions available for free, and then more in-depth ones will be on the Patreon. I'm going to do some Zoom tastings for the Patreon. There'll be some reviews.
Well, I'm going to do some Zoom. I'm coming up with a plan at the moment. And the plan is going to be a Zoom Meet Your Maker.
People love the Zooms.
No, but we're going to have Meet Your Maker. So I'm going to try and get Don Pepin, Pete, Nick Perdomo, Ron Martinez, Tony Gomez,
Perfect.
and do that as a
Yeah.
thing. And we're
A ticketed event.
not a ticketed event.
Oh.
A Zoom, on Zoom.
But they'll buy the sticks through you.
They'll buy the pack,
Yeah.
the Meet the Maker pack,
Okay.
which will come with their own preferred drink.
Oh.
So it'll be the maker's drink that they
Great idea.
subscribe to.
Did you
Well,
speak
no
to
problem.
Steve Johnson? You asked me for his details.
Yeah, I've got to speak to Steve.
Well,
But that's what I want to do.
because he's got the Meet the Maker thing going on this summer.
But it's a live event.
Which you should go to.
Yeah.
It's going to be seminars. All the makers will be there. They'll
Where?
be doing somewhere in Scotland, not far from Edinburgh.
What, with cigar makers?
Yeah. And it's going to be whiskey and cigar makers.
This is with Tor, isn't it?
Yeah. They're going to be I think they're going to be some sort of Scottish games element for a bit of fun.
Have you ever been to the Highland Games?
No.
I've been to the Highland Games.
I bet that's good, isn't it?
I went there with the Queen was there. I wasn't with her, but she was there. In Braemar.
Was it great?
It's interesting.
Yeah, very different, I'd imagine.
You know, see a load of men running around in skirts throwing telephone poles.
Yeah.
Just
Tossing things left, right and centre.
just different.
So I think there'll be a bit of that. I'm going to be hosting the seminars in the afternoon on a variety of topics, but there will be whiskey makers and cigar makers sharing the floor as well. So that'll be really interesting.
So, do you know the dates?
Yeah, I can give them to you. Yeah, there is a date. Yeah, it's in a castle whose name I can't remember.
Okay, well, you'll tell me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're coming through towards the end of this, or certainly through over 50% of this cigar, and it's getting better and better all the time.
Yeah, it's a really lovely cigar, and it deserves every bit of praise.
So let's give it some points, because this can't go on forever. Well, it could do, but people just get bored. So, Thomas, what's your thoughts?
Overall,
Build.
10. I mean, there is literally not a flaw in that cigar.
Nick?
Mine has not quite been to that standard. Still perfectly acceptable. I would give it a 9.
I'd give mine a 9.5. I had a few flaws in it, but that's because I think it travelled over by air and it's old. The humidity wasn't perfectly right, but it's in a very good state, really. Combustion? Flawless, in my opinion.
Yeah.
10.
Yep.
Flavour?
9.
I'm going to go 8.
I'm going to go 9.
Lovely.
So we're going to give it probably a 9 overall.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's a banger.
Yeah.
It really is. For the price that you
A
pay
value,
for it.
it's a 10.
Absolutely.
All right. It's a £45 retail item.
Incredible for that price.
And it's a great smoke.
Huge cigar.
A long smoke, a huge smoke. So much smoke in the smoke, it's just tremendous.
Yeah.
So on that, we're going to leave you puffing. All right, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. And I can't wait to see Nick with the 90 by 9 in his mouth for April Fools. So goodbye from you.
And a goodbye from him.
And goodbye to Lenny the window cleaner. Larry the window cleaner.
Cheers, Larry.
Ciao.
So.